Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here taking a look at The Bridge. This game hates me and everything that I stand for. I feel so stupid when I'm playing it. So, every time I think of something that I don't like about this game, I have to think to myself, is this something that I actually think is a bad gameplay design decision? Or is it something that just came about because I'm completely and utterly stupid? But anyway, we have this guy here who seems to be stuck in some sort of MC Escher style painting, except it's on a two-dimensional plane, so you have plenty of different things to be going on with in relation to the puzzles. We're going to go play a couple, because why not? First thing we're going to do though is the options menu, or just the help menu in general. Turn tilt detection off immediately, because it's goddamn useless. It's absolutely goddamn useless. It's just having to tilt the Vita when you can do it via the L and R buttons is just ridiculous. Also of note is that you've got controls. You've got left and right on the D-pad and the analog stick. You can also use the right analog stick. I thought the right analog stick would have been better than the L and R buttons for the manual tilting, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just go into chapter 3. I was on chapter 4 after about, I don't know, 2 hours, 2.5. Maybe a little longer. Purely because I'm absolutely terrible at puzzle games. But we'll give it a go anyway, shall we? We will go and play The Aftermath. This game's got 8 chapters to it. There's 4 chapters and then there's another 4 chapters where the puzzles are reversed. Mirrored, I should say. Why did I think reversed? I don't even know. Also of note, this is actually like one of the most RAM-heavy games I've seen the Vita use. It's really strange. You can't run anything else while you're running this game. Try and run the trophy app, won't work. Try and run the message app, won't work. Try and run the browser, won't work. You have to close the game to do it. It's so strange. But anyway, here we are. The world is rotating. Yes, this is a game. It's a hell of a game, but it's still a game nonetheless. The idea is you have to figure out your way through the MC Escher style paintings, and you have to find the way out of the... You have to find your way out of the area by going to the door. Tilt the gravity too far though, and you will start slipping and falling. So, the idea is that you're meant to go for a... You're meant to tilt the gravity to work in your favor, obviously. There is also this invert mechanic, which is introduced in Chapter 3, where you can change your color, and you can't pick up specific things without being a specific color. Once you go in the door, it'll immediately take you on to the next puzzle, so we'll go and have a look at that. One thing I want to note is that the game's frame rate is okay while you're playing normally, but if you press start, the menus, sometimes they just run terribly. Like, it seems to be working okay here, but if we go to the trophy collection, yeah, look at that. Look at that speed, will ya? That's insane. That's just really, really shoddy performance in that menu there. But whatever, we'll move along. So this is the antique. I got stuck on this level for ages because it kind of doesn't look like you can walk out into this here, but you can. So yeah, once I figured this out, I was failing because I lost the key. Because yeah, as you can see, gravity is modified depending on on the angle of the world. So if we hold circle, this is actually one of the features I really like about this game. Because if you hold circle, it rewinds to the point where, well, it doesn't rewind. You choose when to let go and stop rewinding. But it's actually a really nice system, and I really like it because some of the puzzles in this game can be absolute torture. And it's nice to be able to just, like, press a button and be like, uh-oh, do not want that to go out that way. Do not want that to go out that way. Do not want that to go out that way. I want to go this way. I've completely forgotten how to do this level. Admittedly, I had to look up a walkthrough for this one. I've had to look up a walkthrough for some of these. But as I was saying, the rewind feature is really cool because there are a lot of situations in this game that you can get stuck in, and not having to restart the entire puzzle is a godsend. Oh yeah, I remember now. We just have to wander down here. Let's not fall off the edge of the platform, and then go and get the key. But yeah, the rewind feature is great because you know what the worst thing about this game is? There's a sudden difficulty spike around Chapter 4, and I know this was on purpose because I was actually talking to the developer about it because I felt really stupid playing some of the later levels. And he told me that there's a difficulty spike around Chapter 4 on purpose. And it made me want to slap him because he's a nice guy. We had a nice conversation, and I told him I felt a bit stupid playing this game, and he said, "You're not stupid. I made the game hard on purpose." And just here I am in my mind thinking, why do these people, like Near Hill Umbra did this too, and I don't like it. Like, the first few puzzles of this game are pretty damn easy. Like, it's basically, the first 2 chapters are basically a walk in the park. And I can understand why, but all these games that are determined to be like super hard puzzle games, for some reason feel the need to not make their games as difficult as they can be until a few chapters in. It's kind of mind-boggling to me, to be honest. It's like, why exactly? It's like, why exactly do you guys want to... Uh-oh. Ow. Why do you guys want your puzzle games to be so easy for a pretty large amount of time? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. So I don't understand why the developers of these... Bugger me. Why the developer of these games don't think about just making their games hard from the very beginning, instead of having an hour or so of puzzles that aren't... Oh, Jesus Christ. That aren't hard, but just somewhat annoying. And because you have to just basically do... I'm a little bit confused. I'm going to reset the puzzle because I got myself confused. It's a bit weird that they decide to make the puzzles so easy on purpose the first time around. And then be like... You know, now we'll make the games hard when they're in a false sense of security and they think they can actually pull this crap off. That's infuriating to me. It's absolutely infuriating when developers decide to do that. It's just a pet peeve of mine when they decide, oh, I don't really want to... When they decide, I'm fine with having the first couple of hours of my game be surprisingly easy. And then pull the wool out from under... No, the words I'm looking for are pull out the rug from under everyone. It's just... It's infuriating when they decide to do that, because first impressions are everything. And if I'm not in not exactly a thinking mood, but more along the lines of, I don't really feel like using my brain, maybe this game that's been easy for the last hour or two, god damn it. Maybe this game that's been really easy for the past hour or two won't be such a dick. And then you turn out to be completely and utterly wrong about that. It's just nuts. But the puzzles themselves are indeed quite clever. If not extremely frustrating, because that's just the way this game tends to work. Because they all look so simple on paper, but working your head around the hedge maze that they come up with in order to... What's the word I'm looking for? The invisible hedge mazes they come up with is a lot harder than it looks sometimes. So now it is basically just a maze. There's almost no danger. We just have to wander around and find all the particular keys. And most of the puzzles are indeed clever, and even the one that I asked him about, I have to admit, I got some enjoyment out of it, despite the fact that I really didn't understand why he felt the need to torture me so much, but it's just... It can be amazingly difficult to solve some of these puzzles sometimes. Like, I'll have to show you the one I'm stuck on. Actually, you know what? I want to keep some of my dignity, so I don't think I will, but... Some of these puzzles are just infuriatingly hard, but you have a decent idea of what the mechanics are of this game are so far, but... Yeah, it's just hard to show you the hard puzzles, because... Considering I already know the solutions, I can just wander on through and not really have that big of a deal working these puzzles out. So I might as well praise the graphical design while I'm at it. While it's actually kind of hard to tell with this zoomed out thing that seems to be spinning at a slower frame rate than I would like to see, it's still a very pretty game to look at. Although I could do to be a bit smoother, that's for sure. And the sound design is surprisingly minimal, but in this game's case, it works pretty well. I'm not gonna fault it for being... I'm not gonna fault it for being minimalistic when it actually works pretty well as a minimalistic game. You just don't do that. Actually, I'll back out of this puzzle because I'm spending a little bit too much time here anyway, but you get the idea, basically. And we'll go to chapter 4, and I'll show you the puzzle that I'm stuck on. Because it shows off two other mechanics that are just doing my brain in, basically. Games' loading times aren't fantastic, by the way. It's weird. All these games with really long loading times and don't seem to run that well, and it's just strange, that's all. So we'll go to chapter 4. There I am. And we will go and visit this puzzle. The intersection. God, this is infuriating. You're going to hate me for this. Someone's going to see the way through the invisible hedge maze he puts up right away. And he says he wanted the game to be hard. He's not wrong. So, that thing there, that vortex, if we fall into that, we can't get out of it, so we need to be careful not to fall into that. So what we need to do is we need to deactivate the vortex using this button. Not that button that the meteor thing just fell on. The one that I'm currently standing on. So now that I've deactivated that, I have to get this rock down here, because I'm not going to be able to pass through this area. I'm not going to be able to pass through the area that I need to pass through in order to get to that funny little cage thing there. Because if I try, I'm now stuck, because if that ball touches me, I die. So, I need to stay as far away from that as possible. Thankfully, you don't take fall damage unless you're falling out of the entire level, so we'll just rotate this around here. And still somehow completely miss the goddamn vortex. Come on, down you come. The problem with these balls is that they work on a completely different sense of gravity. So, if I want to change that ball's direction of gravity, I have to go to that little curtain thing there. I think in game it's called a veil. And I have to get to that through this portal, but I can't get through this before I get this rock that can kill me onto the portal, onto the switch that will take that portal away. And it's just infuriating. Because look at this crap. Oh, come on. Usually gets sucked into these bloody things. The game's gravity is just weird and it doesn't act the way you expect it to. Alright, come on. You're there. You're there. You're there. Thank God. Alright. Now, I'm going to have to turn this way because that ball is going to fall right on my head if I don't. Okay, now it's down in there. So I have to make my way across this gap. I haven't actually solved this puzzle yet. That rewind feature really comes in handy on this jump, I have to say. But now I can fall down here, but thankfully I still have the rock there, so I can turn it this way. But fall on the button there. And now I can come here. And now I have to work my way down to the veil. And now I'm at the veil. Why the hell did I walk out of the veil? I didn't even press the movement button. So now that I'm at the veil, I have to angle the gravity right. No, I'm pretty sure I've screwed myself because now I can't get back to that button. God damn it. Rewind the game. Rewind. Very useful. Alright, now. You have to get that ball down into that door so it doesn't fall into the vortex. That should do it. Now. No, no, go back. Go back into the goddamn hole. You piece of shit. No, don't fall into the goddamn vortex. I hate you. There we go. Now I can do this. Okay, now I can walk into this veil and modify this ball's gravity. So I can get it down this way, like this. There. Wait, no, hang on. Gotta let it sit on the button. So now I can walk away from this. Now I have to modify gravity again without making it fall into the... Yeah. Now modify gravity just enough so that I can... No, no, no. Ah, it's back in the valve. You get the idea! I just walked you through like 5 or 10 minutes of me trying to solve this one godforsaken puzzle. Imagine that a few dozen times over and you've got the bridge in a nutshell. It goes from easy to infuriating in the space of a couple of levels. It can just be mind-blowingly hard after being mind-blowingly easy. And that has to be my main criticism about it. That it doesn't start out hard. Because if this game started out hard, I have a much better idea of what I was in for. But, well, at this point, yeah, I'm kind of burnt out on it, honestly. Again, like Talk L before it, it's only for people who are willing to put in the time to actually solve the puzzles once they start getting hard. So, you know, if you're a fan of Killzone, I wouldn't just going and picking this one up right off the bat, I'll just say, but there's nothing wrong with it as far as I can tell. It just gets too hard too fast, in my personal opinion. For someone like you, might not be a problem. That's pretty much all I've got to say about it. I don't really have much else. That's pretty much my first impressions of every puzzle game, but this one doubly so. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.